So greetings from Pennsylvania once again, and yes, as you can tell by the title of this video, I plan on starting another series. Some people might think you have enough different series going on. Maybe, but maybe not. But they give me, I like doing series because they give me plenty of videos to film. You know, I never run out of, sometimes people ask, you're going to run out of stuff to film? No, because I keep coming up with new series. I know we wrapped up some series last year, my State Park series, my County High Point series. We just wrapped up my French and Indian War series earlier this spring. By some other ones we started one, well last year I started one trying to get to all the natural areas in Pennsylvania. We started one we're trying to get to all the state game lands in Pennsylvania. My Revolutionary War series is starting soon. But anyway, let's start another one too. As you can tell the title of the video, this is for the CCC Camps here in Pennsylvania. It's the Civilian Conservation Corps. And why am I starting a series on this? I should have done this years ago. They're everywhere. There's a neat history of those, and I come across these camps all the time. In fact, just recently I was at the Sweet Root Natural Area in Bedford County. That's where we filmed that. We found that cave and the baby vultures were in there. But there's ruins at the beginning of the video, which I commented I was pretty sure was a CCC camp, but I wasn't sure, and I got home and checked, and they were. So there's an example where I could have filmed another video and filmed the ruins and stuff like that, but I wasn't sure that's what it was, and anyway. So a number of times have passed. I know I've had missed opportunities like that where I'm pretty sure there was a CCC camp, or I knew there was, but yeah. So I'd like to start an official series on that. Because to be honest, they're everywhere. I think on my list here, or on my cheat notes here, there was 151 CCC camps in Pennsylvania. Now, not all of them have anything left for us to see. Most of the ones we were going to visit would be in like the state forest areas and things like that. But they're in the places that I go, so why not film them, you know? Gives me more content to film. There's just a neat history. If you're not familiar with the CCC, it was formed as a result of the Great Depression, which happened with October of 1929. That's when the stock market crashed. But the current administration at the time didn't really do much to help. But when Roosevelt got elected, he instituted a number of programs right away. And within 37 days, he had after his inauguration, he had created the CCC. And the idea of the CCC was to give unmarried, single unemployed men a job, to get them out of the bread lines, as he said, and give them sustainable pay. They earned $30 a month, which isn't much by today's standards, but most of them sent that money back home to their families. They weren't married, but they had some families that they could send that money back to. And it was a pretty neat program. I mean, they did all kinds of stuff here. They helped fight forest fires. They planted trees. If you're not aware, most of the state forests that you see today were just completely logged out in the past. They were like almost wastelands, and the CCC replanted them with most of the trees you see in many places, not everywhere. They built roads. A lot of the roads going through state forests are built by the CCC. They built picnic areas and buildings and a lot of dams that you see in a state park, pavilions. If you ever see like those neat pavilions with the stone fireplaces, most of those are built by the CCC. Some of those neat dams, all kinds of stuff in these state parks. And different ones have different remnants of them. I know like in Roosevelt State Park, there's a remnants of like a big like stone cook oven that they built. There's some chimneys there too. These remains are all over the place. And it's like, I just need to, it's really, like I said, I really need to do a series on all that stuff. And it was a really cool program. It really helped these young guys. I mean, most of them showed up at these camps with very bad clothing. They were unhealthy. There wasn't much to eat. But once in the camp, they got a uniform or two. They were fed 3 meals a day. Many of them gained like 40 pounds pretty quickly just from having the work and a decent meal. And they were taught skills too that they could use later in life. The camps are run by the Army, but they were directed by foresters and carpenters and other people who actually directed the camps and trained these men. So they built all this stuff, but they had to train these men to build all this stuff. Do you ever see all the stonework at some of those state parks, like in those pavilions and stuff? It's beautiful stonework, and they learned to do that. And that's a trade that they could keep with them the rest of their life, even after the CCC stopped, which it stopped in 42. They started in 33, and it ended in 1933, and ended in 1942. Once the United States entered World War II. So like I said, these camps are everywhere. Some of them have more ruins than others. Some maybe not much. Some have interesting stories, neat history, and I think it'll be a really cool series. Interestingly enough, Pennsylvania had the second most number of these camps. I think California had the most. California's a pretty big state. But I think the governor at the time, Governor was it Pinchot, he had kind of already prepared for that, and so it kind of worked out really well. That's why we had so many of these CCC camps here in the state. And overall, I have a number here: 194,500 Pennsylvanians served throughout the country in these CCC camps. That's a lot. So I think I'm gonna have a lot of fun doing this series. I know some of these camps I've been to before. Like I said, we're just at the Sweet Root Natural area. There was some remains there. I mentioned Penn Roosevelt State Park. The World War II POW camp in Michaud State Forest was also a CCC camp at one point, but they were just all over the place. I know there was one. If you know, I've been to that. What was that? The Pioneer Cemetery in the Tuscarora State Forest. There's a CCC camp right near there. A lot of places they have signs up for them, but sometimes sometimes some have some decent ruins left, some not much. But we'll do what we can to find them. So I think I'm gonna have fun doing this series. I think it's just an interesting history, interesting time period, and like I said, there's a lot of beautiful stuff left that they built. Because it's just like back then they took a lot more pride in what they built, and the stuff lasted. There's stuff that they built that's almost 100 years later is still standing, whereas today some of the stuff we build, like I come across very I don't want to get too picky here, but you come across some projects, bridges and different things that you see in the woods built today that are only going to last for a couple of years before they have to replace again. But the stuff built by the CCC, it's still there because they just took a lot of more pride and quality in their work, I think, back then. I know, just a sign of the times, but we'll let that go. But yeah, if you have some CCC camps, I'm going to start stuttering your CCC. If you have some that you know about that you'd like me to visit, I mean, there's lists online of where they are, but if you have a particular one that you know about that you'd like to tell me about, go ahead and let me know in the comments below. But that'll be coming. I'm not sure when I'll do the first one, but announcing it and starting it just gets the wheels turning. So I just wanted to let you know we're going to start a series on Pennsylvania CCC camps. I'm looking forward to this one. But anyway, thanks for watching. Maybe we'll see you at one in the future.